Hello and welcome back to ShineTalk. I am Martin Shine, and today we have another guest to speak with. That's why we're here. That's what we do best. It's all about talking with people, finding out what they're about, and giving you the opportunity to discover if what they do professionally, personally, will be a benefit to you in some way. Maybe they offer a service or a business or goods and products that can help you in your daily life and your business. So I'd like to introduce you, without further ado, once again, he's been here before, Mr. One and Only PeterLucken. Hello, Peter. Well, it seems like...
you up just a little bit, all right? I'm here.
You are, aren't you? Yeah, lovely.
You're right.
Good. I think we need a floor manager there, perhaps. Getting everything on time, maybe not. I know. Right.
Timing.
I think this is probably... Absolutely, yes.
Yeah, timing.
Absolutely, yes.
Timing, yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely. There is something to be said about the timing, for sure. And now, talking about the timing, we have got limited timing. Well, certainly at the time of recording this, but who knows? It could be daytime, evening, nighttime, afternoon, wherever someone's watching this and whatever planet they're watching it from. But hopefully right now they're watching live as well. Yeah, we have got some live viewers. That's great out there. What else?
You mean to actually say I'm actually famous? For once in my life, I've actually got some viewers.
You have actually got some viewers live and direct here. I won't tell you where they are because you'll be... No, never mind.
Yeah, we'll skip that bit.
Yeah, we'll skip that bit for sure. Anyway, Peter, welcome to ShineTalk once again.
Thanks a lot, mate. How's everything going? All right?
It's a bit hectic, as you know, although you're coming to the end of what is it's been a hectic year, hectic season. You've had a very busy summer season since we spoke last, yeah?
Yeah, yes. Last one's on this Saturday, and then after that, it's snooze time. It's time to get down, relax, and just take it easy for a short while.
Sure. Now, tell us more about what you do, because obviously some people are joining us for the first time. We are talking to PeterLucken of PLRS Media Limited, and what do you do?
Basically, I hate that word. Basically, why do I always start it off with it? We hire sound systems and stages from anything from a DJ setup right the way through to concert level equipment for small events or big events. Really all depends on what the client wants.
Yeah. Just so you know, I don't know why, but every time you talk, there seems to be a mosquito in the microphone there somehow, and I'm not sure why that is.
A mosquito in the microphone.
Yeah, it's a high pitched sort of bzzz, but we can carry on with that. That's not too much of a problem, but it's a bit bizarre.
Well, there is a high pitched. Well, there's a. Hang on. Try that. Try that. Try that.
It stops at the end of it when these.
That's it. Is that any better?
It might be. Oh dear. Well, oh, hello. It might be better, but I mean, well, hello, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Surprisingly, it is a little bit better, actually. But that's not how to repair computers, and even our man...
Modern technology, mate. Modern technology.
No, I'm afraid it's still there. It's still flying around there. It's a hard nut, this one, this mosquito. Anyway, we will continue. Tragically, we get back to what I was saying earlier on about the difference between we want to get on to what you do and the difference about what you do in terms of the services provided, because one thing, for example, where I'm coming to is dry hire, and what's the difference between dry hire and something that isn't dry hire, basically? Do tell me.
Okay, when the term dry hire comes from the fact that people when you hire a car, that's called a dry hire because they come in and they take the goods away and they set everything up themselves. It's like if you was to hire a chauffeur-driven car, that'd be classed as a wet hire because you're in control of what's actually happening. So people come in and they dry hire things such as light units, where you just have to take them to wherever you're going, plug it in, off it goes. Whereas wet hire is when we send an engineer or a technician along. They set it all up, they test it all out, and they sit there throughout the whole of the performance.
Yeah.
to make sure everything's working okay, and then packs it all away and then brings it all back.
Brilliant.
That's all wet hire.
Sure. Now it's interesting actually, because it's very rare you hear that term wet hire. You know, I just hear it's always dry hire, but often, you know, you know what I'm saying?
I agree totally with you. Like, you know, a wet hire isn't, you know, it's not a very common used term, but you know, it is there in any case. And like, you know, to be honest with you, like, you know, if you're dry hiring, it then benefits the customer in ways in which it will cost them less for the first instance, because they're not paying for the engineer's time. So it's, you know, he's got his goods up, his up bits and his down bits against it.
You know, absolutely. But we mustn't forget as well, though, a lot of people think they can do it themselves. But when, you know, I mean, for example, this here, you know, we could be live streaming or recording this just on a mobile phone these days, for example. Yeah. But as soon as you want to introduce what we've got, they can't see it over here on Busker, but on Periscope at the moment, Facebook Live and YouTube Live, we've got graphics now fully integrated with our podcasts and live broadcasts. You can't, as I say though, to do that, it's a bit more tricky, particularly when we've got to also focus on our conversation, and at the same time I'm thinking, right, which button, or should I press that button now, and that sort of thing. So in terms of what you do, again, often really think twice. I think you'll agree, you know, in terms of, do I need an engineer or not? Yeah.
Oh yeah, we'll say, you know, if this was us hiring it to you, we'd make sure there wasn't a mosquito flying around, number one, and we would like rectify things like this before we even attempted to go on to air. Is that any better?
Oh, I've got to just bring this to your attention. If you turn around and look at your window, everybody just witnessed that moment. The great moment. When, I mean, there's always a Pussycat moment on social media, and you have just nailed it there as the cat jumped up to go out of the top window. And yes,
that's our regular rat catcher. Yeah, like, you know, that's the whole reason wwhy he's here, is to stop any rats or mice or anything like that getting in. But if I was to go, there we have it.
There you go. You see, oh dear, that's fantastic. Well, unbelievable. As I say, the fact that we caught the moment on here. So that's another reason for people watching this particular podcast, if nothing else, if they're animal lovers. Peter, how big a operation do you run there? I mean, some people are ringing up and say, "Can I hire a microphone, please?" And and others will be like, "I need 10 microphones and maybe a sound mixer and some lighting and something proper, because we want to do it properly and not, sort of all."
I understand where you come from. It all depends on what you're putting on. If you're putting on, i.e., a tea party for Nanny and Grandad, and you just want a speaker that you plug your iPhone into, then fine, no problems with that.
Well, that's all right, because Nan and Grandad are normally deaf, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and then it all depends on what sort of size speaker they want. That's easy enough. But it's like, when you do live outdoor events, like with bands on, for instance, a drummer might have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 microphones, just around the drum kit alone. And he might do vocals as well, so it's 8 microphones, and at the end of the day, like, you have to channel them all into a mixer, get decent balance, and then you've got all the other instruments as well. So that really demands an engineer to actually mix them all together, and basically you have to be out front so you can hear exactly what the customers are hearing, and it really depends on what sort of music the engineer usually listens to as to what sort of mix you're going to get.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And of course, I mean, a lot of people, again, as I say, they think they can do it themselves. There's plenty of equipment out there. Go onto eBay, this bay, that bay, or just go down to your local used equipment store. But again, I was going to say, putting it all together yourself, great, you can do that. But again, there's a reason that you exist fundamentally.
Yeah. But to a certain extent, yes, there's a fact, as in everybody can put everything together. Like yourself, you might have gone and bought that microphone, for instance.
Oh, this one here, this wonderful microphone. Yeah.
And then you might have gone and bought that set of headphones.
Oh, yeah,
and
definitely.
then, you bought the mixer desk.
Yes, we can't show those.
how long? No, be honest with yourself. Yeah, be honest with the people that are actually watching this. How long would you estimate it took you to put all of that system together, time-wise?
Yeah, well, when it comes to actually putting it together,
you know what each individual item does.
Yeah,
but. Rough guess.
Oh, to actually put this desk together so I know how it was working, because I remember we spoke about this. You've helped me understand the desk a bit better, because it turns out that I did understand it. I needed a second opinion to make sure that I wasn't making a mistake, because it's not something I usually do, which is cable up a sound desk. Not one as complicated as this.
You've hit the nail on the head.
Yeah.
Although you know what you're doing, you wanted a second opinion.
Yeah, exactly. You'd be silly not to have always a second opinion, of course.
That's what we do also. Is we're always sitting here as a second opinion.
Sure.
People aren't sure, they simply give us a call. We tell them what to do.
Right.
They're with modern technology, they're trying to make it so easy now that it's just plug and play. But when it comes down to plugging 100 different items in and trying to make them all play exactly the same time, exactly the same frequency, exactly the same starting point. It gets a little bit more difficult and a little bit more
Peter,
time.
Absolutely. I mean, a great example. You just witnessed it here. From past anyway, because we've done this before. But not only did we have to press record on the recording device for this recorded podcast, but we went live. We're live now on 2 platforms, so there's 2 other pieces of equipment, not just to make sure that we've pressed the button to go live here, go live there, but also to continually monitor the thing and make sure it's happening. I mean, right now, and you wouldn't believe the number of things that I've got to monitor here while we're talking, and that's actually one of the achievements we've actually reached here at ShineTalk this week, which is that it's got to a comfortable position now where I'm actually able to enjoy our conversation and focus on just the conversation, because I've limited where we're at. But that's the point. I'm telling you now, and you're saying to me, Martin, I know you. Well, before you say you agree, Martin, you're telling me. I'm trying to tell you and tell the people out there. I'm telling you, everyone out there. Okay, do not to try and do it yourself without consulting a professional. And if they say to you and give you that warning, remember, that event that you're putting on, it could be a community event and that sort of thing. How many times have you put on an event, Peter? They've come to you for the second opinion. They haven't taken your advice, and after it's like, oh dear, I should have listened to you. You
just sit back, look on, and think, told you so. But I'm not going to say that because that's my job. But okay, I can do it for you.
Yeah.
Again, it's not. I'm trying to.
What are you trying?
I'm trying to say it's not always what you know, because you might know what an XLR plug does, I think what Peter's the actual component does.
Yes.
So you're not entirely sure why you're getting a buzz through, like this microphone here.
And it's terrible. Well, no, it's not terrible. It's terrible. It's the fact that out of all of the pieces of equipment, bearing in mind this is a computer you're using, so we have to emphasise. It's not was it a Neumann microphone that you might have supplied?
I'm only using a HP laptop, nothing more, nothing less, to have a chat with you over.
Yeah.
But bear in mind also, I only installed Skype about 10 minutes ago.
It's true. So forgive Peter and us for the slight buzz here. If you've got any fly spray out there, you might be worth on your screen before you watch the podcast. That might help to eliminate any buzz around. Haha. Anyway, what I want to know, Peter, obviously we're at the end of 2016. Moving on to another thing that I was thinking is, if we're at the end of the year, the new year ahead, obviously you've got a plan ahead, and it might be a quieter time for you now before a busy summer 2017 again. But where do we go from now? What you're doing now? Planning?
That's right. Between I think the end of this week is the end of our stage hires and the big PA stuff, because weather's getting a little bit worse, so therefore outdoors isn't a brilliant scenario. And then from now on, all the dry hires start doubling numbers. A lot of people are putting on events in the small halls and Christmas parties and things like that. So outdoor events, they've gone particularly quiet from now. And to be honest with you, they usually go quiet from now until March, April time. So our first booking is next year in March.
Yep.
But the thing is, like, when it comes to forward planning, like, you yourself know, like, you've got to plan ahead, so that you know exactly what you're doing and when you're doing it. Like, in this, we call it downtime. During this downtime, we're not just doing nothing. We're ripping speakers apart, repadding them out, resurfacing them, making sure they're all okay, make sure the connections are all right, and we're checking, like, sort of 13, 14 miles of cable, making sure there's no breaks in the cable, and oiling everything, making sure it's all going to all go together all nice and quickly, so that when we actually do events, we turn up, plug it all in, do all the sound checks, and then basically that is it, over and done with.
Yeah.
And, that's a lot of what we're actually doing. But a lot of things come into, if you are putting on an event, as an instance, you really got to plan what you're going to do, because you've got to plan for the amount of people that are coming, the barriers. They want to go to the toilet at some time, they want to buy some popcorn at one time, they want to sing along at certain times, and you've got to plan, and you've got to be able to acknowledge all of those things around what's actually happening. So you've got to plan for them. Much the same as, like, when you're booking us, for instance, or a set of barriers, you've got to book them well in advance, so that they're going to turn up on that day at that time, and be all ready and prepared and in place before the event even goes ahead.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and foreseeing potential problems that can occur as well, as you were saying. When someone wants to go to the loo, they want to go to the loo now. They don't have to wait while you suddenly have to navigate around whatever you're doing and that sort of thing. So it makes perfect sense. Again,
it's just a case of using a little bit of this, little grey matter up here, and you're thinking to yourself, like, if I was going out, what do I want to do? And you've got to put yourself in the customer's position, and think of, what would I want to do if this were to happen, or if that were to happen. And basically, you've got to get everything in place, and know that person's doing that this person's doing this. For instance, I'm sitting here talking to somebody. That somebody is controlling microphones, desk, and about 30 other different items, while I'm just sitting here, just doing whatever I want. I can do this. Won't make any difference to you.
Well, the viewers will probably now need some seasickness tablets, but yes. Point made very well.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Tell us as well.
Good.
So, yes. Point.
Would you?
Point well made. But tell me, moving on as well to the next point that I have is a new year. Okay, economy. What's going on in terms of people wanting to expect the best for often less?
I wouldn't say the best, but like, we're getting there slowly but surely. To be 100% honest with you, with Brexit just happening, and with there's a problem, like, with the minimum wage, because you have to be a certain age to get a certain figure. Again, like, I don't know if anybody's noticed or not, but the things in the shops, like food, generally going up in price.
Yes, I've noticed that it has definitely been creeping up. The loaf, and the basics, loaves of bread, ingredients for baking and cooking, and they have been. And when you get to the checkout, that, okay, for one person it might be an extra £1, maybe $1.50. Okay, US people, maybe what $2.50. Okay, but that's a pretty hefty sum of money when it comes to the fact that you are just one in how many tens of thousands going through the doors of that supermarket that day, let alone week. Yeah.
That's right. You think of how much the actual prices have actually gone up. Like, to you or me, or to Mrs. Jones, that might not make a great bit of difference. But the difference is like, okay, like you say, for instance, let's take that microphone that you're using. For instance, it might have cost you, let's say, 150 quid, whereas now it will cost 153 quid. Yeah. Like, mind, take a drummer as an instance. We've got to have 8 of those microphones, so therefore that's risen the price by just that one drummer by X amount. So it all cascades all the way through the whole of the event. Like even the price of diesel or petrol, even that fluctuates immensely, and it's going to cost us, it could be whatever variance for how distant the actual event is. An overnight stay, for instance, like it might cost us maybe 40 quid, or it might cost us maybe 140 quid per person.
Just verify what you mean there. Sorry, I was just going to say, just verify what you mean there for people when you say an overnight stay. Of course, of course, some jobs that you do, it might be on Monday from sort of 8 o'clock in the morning to whenever. But of course, you might need to arrive the night before to set up for whatever logistical reasons and just timings and that sort of thing. So you've got to have accommodation as well as, dare I mention it, travel costs as well.
Yeah. See, we like to roll them all into one little figure so that they have like a big invoice saying, "Oh, you owe us this amount and you owe us that amount," and we have. So basically, we try and clear all that up and just put it under a mileage charge. Basically, we try and keep it nice and simple and easy so that people know what they're getting at what prices. But unfortunately, this time of with the economy as it is, I've got a very bad feeling that things might have to be, go up to a slight extent. Not a massive degree, but they might well have to rise.
But I understood from you when we were talking earlier, actually, before the podcast, perhaps January might be a month for people to look out for and take advantage of. No, with your company,
So for us, because a lot of our people don't tend to plan events that are going to happen in July or August next year. They don't tend to even start thinking about them until mid-January. Sorry again, just to mention that must be a real faux pas, big mistake, because, for example, if you're working for an organisation, a community event that you're putting on for maybe a certain festival, for Easter, for example, well, everyone's going to have their Easter event on the same weekend, whenever that public holiday happens to be. So wouldn't it make sense to book it well in advance before someone else does, and then they can't hire from you because... That's it. That's a very, 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 very good point. But a lot of people think of it as their wedding. No offense, man, but if you was to get married hypothetically in 2 years' time, when would you start planning? You'd start planning tomorrow. Again, because it's your day, it's your festival. You would try and like to get everything all in place as soon as possible. But a lot of people or companies aren't particularly allowed to do that. For instance, councils, if they're putting on a firework event in, let's say, March, they're not allowed to start planning for it until February, because they haven't got the funding, so they don't know how much they've got to play with before they can start organising it all.
Yeah, good point.
That's one of the downfalls of being part of a large organisation. Whereas if you're solo and doing it all off your own back, you know exactly to what extent you can spend, or you can afford to just delay things by a minuscule amount to get a better deal or something like that.
These are things that people just don't often realise, think about, and we've discussed this before, as I say, and you'll recall. So listen, we're going to start to wrap things up here now, because time is, running out, quite frankly.
Right.
And before we do, though, I'm just interested to know from you, we're using social media here quite well, I think, if I say so. Obviously, this is the way forward when it comes to video. Now, how does that help your company, and how are you sort of planning on utilising it or doing so now?
Yeah, well, the first thing on my mind at the moment is I'm going to go out and get some spray and get some mosquito spray, because I don't particularly like that mosquito buzzing around. But we won't go on about that any longer. But social media is a hard nut to crack. A million and one different people. Like, I was looking up on the internet last night, and apparently Facebook has 1 billion users. Now, you can't even imagine how large the number of 1 billion is. But they've got 1 billion users. So therefore, there's 1 billion people out there that are looking at social media on a daily basis. And when I was watching the news the other day, and it was saying the first thing people do when they open their eyes and get out of bed in the morning is check on the emails or check Facebook. That's just one of a couple of things that they do. So that means that if you're making a video or something like we're doing at the moment, we can be in the person's bedroom with them for the first thing they see in the morning. And I'm not sure that'd be good with this face, but with your face it might be slightly different. Social media is a hard nut to crack, and you've got to know what you're doing before you can spout, oh, I'm doing this, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. You've got to know where you're coming from and what you're actually aiming for.
Yes, it's a good point, though, as you say. I mean, it really is personal. Waking up with someone in the morning on their digital device, it is no joke. People have this relationship with their digital device. Plenty, it might as well be grafted on their hand and attached permanently.
In a relationship with a digital device, come on.
Oh dear. Platforms, Peter. Moving
Platforms?
to those, yeah. What do you favour?
Stages, or you mean platform shoes, or platforms?
Yeah. When it comes to digital social media platforms, where have you seen more of a movement and some sort of momentum, shall we say, and positivity, and it working basically for business? I would say for yours, yeah.
Okay, businesses, I would suggest Facebook. Facebook is, because 90% of your customers have got to have a Facebook account. They've all got a Facebook account, whether it might be speaking to Auntie Nanny or Mr. Dorset around the corner, or keeping up with their kids that are based in 300 miles away in university.
Yeah,
they've all got a Facebook account. Twitter is more of a personal side of things, whereas you let everybody know what you are doing. But Facebook, you can actually interact with people there and then.
Yeah.
They're the two that I would recommend. But you got 101 different video platforms all over the place. But the question being is it's the same as the VHS and the Betamax. Yesteryear, which one is the better? We all know that Betamax was the better, but which was the most popular? VHS.
Yes.
Why and what for? We all know now, because it's hindsight. You really got to look at it now and know which is the better platform, so you can just use that particular platform. And you've got to target your market. You've got to know what sort of market you're looking at before you decide which platform you're after.
Wouldn't it be good if we could tell the future? That's it.
Yeah.
What's next week's lottery?
Number. Yeah, exactly. Put it this way, if I knew, you wouldn't know.
Thank you very much. Listen, if people want to get hold of you, maybe I should rephrase that, but indeed, if they do, what's the best way? And maybe I should rephrase that as well if you're in that frame of mind at the moment, Peter, honestly.
If anybody would like to contact me.
If people would like to contact your company, what's the best way to make an inquiry about their wonderful event or even their personal parties and things like that?
If anybody wants to know anything whatsoever, again, you can. This is something that I always say to people: is like, if you want to pick my brains, you're more than welcome to. I'm always at the end of a telephone, but the first instance would be to get in contact with me via email. That's Peter you can actually use info at PLRS.co.uk.
Yeah.
Alternative to that, like you can always, when you've made initial contact via email, we can always pick up the telephone. We can always talk, have a chat, and hopefully, if you're in Kent and I'm in Essex, and there's no way I can help you, I can guide you through what to do or who to go to, or if I'm not in the area, then because we're a fairly big company, we deal with so many people, we can direct you to a person that can be with you within a short period of time.
Yeah, and of course all this information that we've been talking about, sort of what's available and what you supply, again along with your contact information and social media, that sort of thing. I guess they just go to your website as well, which has been on the screen pretty much throughout this chat, which is
PLRS.co.uk.
Peter, we're out of here. Thank you very much for sharing your information, giving everyone also an insight more about what you're doing there and how the year's been going. We're going to catch up sooner rather than later on the next one, and perhaps even again, people can always put their questions to us in the future when we start doing that sort of thing here, certainly when the audience is watching live. But
if anybody's got any problems of any kind, just put them to Martin. If he doesn't know, he'll ask me. I'll tell him. He'll tell you.
There you go. Yeah, so something like that. As always, thanks for joining us, Peter. Thanks for watching. Catch us till the next time here at ShineTalk. Bye bye for now.